How are you doing, math learners? This is your free access math teacher Ash, and welcome to ML with Sir Ash. For today's lesson, we're going to discuss how to multiply rational algebraic expression. So, before anything else, hit the subscribe button and notification bell for you to be updated of the School Clear math videos just like this. Hello math learners! Welcome to another session here in Math Learning with Sir Ash. Today, we're going to discuss the most essential learning competency-based lesson for Quarter 1, Week 4 of the Grade 8 Mathematics. Now, let us start. We have already discussed from our previous videos the meaning and the definition of a rational algebraic expression. These are basically a combination of rational numbers, constants, and variables, and the denominator must not be equal to 0. Okay, so in multiplying rational algebraic expression, what we do is that if you have a factor that is a fraction and another factor that is also a fraction, regardless whether it has a letter or not, okay? What you will do is you just multiply numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. So, A times C, that is AC, and B times D, that is BD. Where B and D or BD must not be equal to 0. Okay. Okay, now let us have a quick review on how to multiply rational numbers. Okay, math learners, we have here 2 over 7 times 7 over 8. Remember that your final answer must always be in the lowest terms. Okay, so simply, you can just multiply 2 times 7 and then 7 times 8. But for you to have a very efficient answer, you can also use cancellation. What do you mean by cancellation? If you see a factor of a number in the numerator, which is the same or a factor also in the denominator, you can cancel them. As you can see here, both numerator and denominator has 7. So you can cancel them. You can just divide 7 by 7 and that is 1, right? Okay. Now, also observe that 2 and 8 are also a factor of 2. So you can just divide both numbers by 2, giving you 1. And this divided by 2, that is 4. So therefore, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. So therefore, your final answer is 1/4. Now, if you don't like this kind of method, you can just simply multiply them. 2 times 7, that is 14. 7 times 8, that is 56. However, 14 over 56 can still be simplified into its lowest term. So, the basic number of this one is 7. So, you divide this one by 7. You also divide this by 7. However, 2 and 8 can still be simplified by 2. So, you divide this by 2. You divide this by 2. And the answer is just the same. So, I suggest that you master how to cancel because in the rational algebraic expression, it is very, very handy when it comes to solving. Okay, let's consider another example. Okay, math learners, we also have another example. So, this is just a simple review. We have 3 over 4 times 2/3. Okay, so, by just applying the cancellation, you can just do this one. Okay, that is 1. And then 4 and 2 can be simplified by 2. So, this will become 1 and this will become 2. So, 1 times 1, that is 1. 2 times 1, and that is 2. And your final answer is 1/2. Easy, right? Now, let us consider with a letter. Okay, math learners, for our actual formal example for this topic, we have here 5t over 8 times 4 over 3t squared. Okay, so what you will do here is very simple. Now, monomials can be cancelled by monomials. Binomials can be cancelled by binomials. So, as we can see here, both are monomials, 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 monomials. Okay, so they can be cancelled except that they should have also a common factor. Okay, now, if you are very having a hard time of the cancellation, you could have this one, 5 times 4, that is 20, and 20 times t, that is 20t. Okay. So, we have also here 8 times 3, that is 24. So, that is 24t squared. Okay. Now, look at this. 20 and 24 can still be simplified. T and T can also be simplified. So, what you will do here is you can do the prime factorization, meaning you will break down the numbers into its prime values, which will be factors. When you multiply them again, it is the same number. Okay, so what are the factors of 20? We have 4 and 5, right? However, 4 can still be broken down into 2 and 2. Okay, so we have 2 times 2 times 5 times T. Okay, because 20 is 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Your 4 will be broken down, okay, into 2 and 2. Hope you got that one. Okay, now, we'll have 24. What are the prime factors of 24? Let's say we have 6 and 4. Okay, 6 and 4. 4 and 6. However, 4 can be broken down with 2 and 2. 6 can also be broken down into 2 and 3. Okay, so 2 and 3. Alright. Now, we have T squared here, meaning there are 2 T's. Okay, 2 T's. Alright. So, having this kind of expansion, what you will do is you just cancel those identical numbers in the numerator and denominator. So, we have here 2. We also have here 2. We also have here T. Okay. And then, you simplify the numbers. In the numerator, only 5 is the remaining number. In the denominator, we have 2, 3, and T. So, 2 times 3, that is 6, times T, 6T. And that will be your final answer. Now, let's try to solve this one using cancellation. In this part, 4 and 8 can be cancelled, right? That can be cancelled by 2 or 4. They can be cancelled by 4. So, this will become 1. This will become 2. 5 and 3, okay, none. But T and T here, this can be cancelled by T. And then, we have here T. But there is still 1 left. Okay. So, therefore, 5 times 1, that is 5. 2 times 3, we have also a T here, right? So, 2 times 3, that is 6. And copy the remaining T. And they are just the same. Easy, right? Okay, now let us have another example. Okay, math learners. We have here another example. We have 4x over 3y times 3x squared y squared over 10. Okay. Now, what we will do here, let's practice cancellation in order for you to master it. Okay. So, what is the common number between here? So, we have here 3 and 3. Okay, right? So, this will become 1. This will become 1. 4 and 10 here, they are both divisible by 2. So, we divide this by 2, this will become 2. We divide this by 2, this becomes 5. Now, let's talk about the variables. In the denominator side, the only variable here is y. Okay? So, there is one y here and there are 2 y's in the numerator side. So, you can just cancel it. You can just cancel this one. But there is still 1 y that is remaining. Okay. So, now, we only have 1 and 5 here. So, when you multiply 1 and 5, you have 5. Now, if you multiply here, 2x, x squared, and y. So, you have 2x, x squared, and y. Now, is this the final answer? Not yet, because there are 2 the same letters here, right? Okay, so you can just consider them as 1. So, remember, a variable without an exponent has an exponent of 1. So, meaning there is only 1x here, and there are 2 x's here. So, therefore, this will become 2x cubed y over 5. And that is your final answer. Easy, right? And now, let us go to the third example. Okay, math learners, we are here to another example in which this is quite challenging. Why? Because we are now talking about binomials. So, we have here 2x plus 1 over x squared minus 1, while multiplied to the fraction x plus 1 over 2x squared plus x. Okay. Now, how do we multiply this 1? In multiplying, we use the FOIL method, meaning the FOIL. the first terms, the outer terms, the inner terms, and the last terms. Now, I suggest before using the FOIL, you must need to cancel all of the binomials that can be cancelled. Okay, so how do we do that? First thing you should do is you check the given binomials whether they are already simplified. 2x plus 1. Is 2x plus 1 already in its simplest form? Okay, yes, because there are no common terms to be extracted from 2x and 1. Okay, how about x plus 1? This is also in the simplest form. So now let us go to x squared minus 1. Now, x squared is a perfect square. 1 is also a perfect square. Now, this is an example of a difference of two squares. Now, remember in our lesson, in the difference of two squares, we can factor the difference of two squares by two given binomials. Okay, so what we will do here now is, we write this first. Okay, multiply here. We have here x plus 1. Now, we can write this as two quantities, two factors. The factor of x squared is x and x. The factors of negative 1 is positive 1 and negative 1. So, if you multiply this one, you will arrive to x squared minus 1. I hope you got that one. Now, how about this one? 2x squared plus x. As you can see, this is also a binomial that can be factored out. The common of 2x squared and x is basically x. Why? Because this one has an x. This second term also has an x. So you can factor the x out and then leaving 2x here. When you factor the x out, this will become 1 because x times 2x, this will be 2x squared. X times 1, that is x. Okay. Now you have factored all of your possible binomials to its simplest form. What you will do here is you cancel the identical terms. We have here 2x plus 1. It is identical here, so you can cancel them. Now, remember this, math learners, that a binomial can only be cancelled by a binomial. Okay? You cannot cancel 2x and 2x or 1 and 1. No. It is a whole expression. Meaning, if it is in the binomial or trinomial, then, as much as possible, it's the identical expression of that one for you to cancel them. Okay. Now, we also have here x plus 1. We also have here x plus 1. So, you can also cancel this one. So, you don't have any binomials left in the numerator. Now, remember that if an expression is divided by the same expression, that is basically 5 divided by 5 or 10 divided by 10. Basically, the answer is 1. Okay, so therefore, since nothing is here in the numerator, we will put 1. Clear? Okay. Now, what is the remaining in the denominator side? We have x and x minus 1. Okay. So now, you just simplify this one and you have x times x, that is x squared, x times negative 1, that is minus x. And that will be your final answer. Okay. Now, let us go to a deeper example. Okay, math learners, we are now in our final example, which is a trinomial multiplied by a trinomial. Same goes in the denominator side. So, we have here x squared plus 7x plus 10 over x squared minus 9x plus 14 times the expression x squared minus 6x minus 7 over x squared plus 6x plus 5. Now, do not multiply this directly, my dear math learners. What you will do is step 1 to factor out all the possible trinomial or polynomial. So, what you will do here is we will factor this trinomial. Remember in our lesson in general trinomials, okay, if you have a quadratic expression, you can factor them by just getting its two binomial factors. So, what you will do is you factor the first and you factor the last, such that those factors in the last, if you add them, the answer is the middle. Okay. So, what are the factors of 10 in which if you add them, the answer is positive 7? Okay. Factors of 10 are 1 and 10. Now, if you add 1 and 10, that is 11. We are finding 7. Wrong. We also have 2 and 5. If you have 2 and 5, the answer is 7. Therefore, we can use 2 and 5. Okay, so positive 2 and positive 5. Okay. Now, we have here another trinomial, x squared minus 9x plus 14. So, we will make another 2 factors. Okay. So, we factor the first term, that is x and x. We factor 14, positive 14. Now, as you can see here, this is positive 14, right? But our middle term is negative. So, we will not consider positive factors because remember, the positive number is a result from positive times positive or negative times negative. So, therefore, we will use negative and negative. Okay, so what are numbers that when you multiply, the answer is 14, but when you add them, the answer is 9. Okay, so 14, we could use 1 and 14. The answer is 15. Wrong. We also have 2 and 7. And if we add 2 and 7, the answer is 9. Okay, so we have negative 2 and negative 7. Okay, next is this one. We have x squared minus 6x minus 7. So we make another 2 factors. We factor this one. Okay. Now, we have here 7, negative 7. So, negative is a combination of negative and positive. So, what are the factors of 7 such that when you subtract them, the answer is negative 6? Okay. Now, factors of negative 7 are 1 and 7 or 1 and negative 7. Now, if you add 1 and negative 7, the answer is negative 6. Okay. So, therefore, the number is negative 7 and the positive number is 1 because if you multiply them, the answer is negative 7. If you add them, the answer is negative 6. Okay. Now, we go to our final. So, we have here x squared plus 6x plus 5. So, this is very simple because all are positive. So, what are the factors of 5? When you add, it becomes 6. Of course, that is 1 and 5. So, we have 1 and we have 5. Okay, so now both or all of the general trinomials are in its factored form. So what we will do here is we cancel all the binomials that are identical. So x plus 2, okay, no x plus 2 in the denominator side. X plus 5, we have x plus 5 here, so we can cancel this. X plus 1, okay, they have the same here. X minus 7, so we can cancel them. So, leaving us x plus 2 over x minus 2. And that is your final answer. Now, let me just emphasize that you cannot cancel the x here or even the 2 here because this is considered as a whole binomial and this is also considered as a whole binomial. This can only be canceled if they are both positive or they are both plus sign here or they are both minus sign there. Okay? So I hope you know how to multiply rational algebraic expressions. And for you to master this competency, now here is some try these exercises. I hope, math learners, you have learned a lot of things to our discussion for today. This is still your free access math teacher, Ash. And always remember, it is fun to learn mathematics if we are together learning. Now, if you have more questions about this topic, do not hesitate to write in our comment section down below. Hoping you have a great time today. Stay safe. God bless. Fellow math learners, if you think you like this video, hit the like button and the subscribe button. That is, if you are committed of learning mathematics the easy way. Thank you.